Hey everyone, I'm JG. Today I want to go over all of the important factors that you need to get started with the Body by Science fitness method by Dr. Doug McGuff and John Little. This method I've been using for the past 5 years with every single one of my clients. I've been in the industry about 15 years, but the absolute most impact that I've seen on clients has been with the Body by Science method. Anyone can do this method, quite literally. My oldest client here in the studio is 94 years old. Another one of the studios here locally, I think their youngest is maybe 17 years old. So this is for every age group, literally. One of the most important factors that I want to talk about just starting out right here before we get started and I show you the method and I instruct you how to do it is momentum. It's whenever you see guys in a gym and they're just doing this number, right? They're throwing weights in this direction. The only thing that's keeping those weights in their hand, they got it gripped in their hand. And so what's actually happening, they throw it in this direction. The only thing stopping it is the connective tissue right here. So they're ripping that right off of their skeletal structure. Of course, that's very damaging. It's damaging to the joints. So what we do, and this is based upon the Super Slow Protocol, high intensity training from Ken Hutchins' Super Slow Manual, another great book about this method. We're basically going to move at a very slow 10-second pace. And what this looks like as far as repetitions go, if I'm doing a bicep curl, this would look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, that's slow, quite literally. Moving about a 10-second pace is really what we want to do, and speed is very important for this method. We're not going to rest between repetitions, and I'll get to that point when I demonstrate in just a little bit here. A couple considerations that are extremely important are breathing and form. When it comes down to it, so many injuries tend to happen in the gym from having bad form. We all have a tendency to kind of do this number when we're pushing something heavy, right? Like if I'm on the chest press and I'm just pushing through this, we always want to keep good form with our shoulders down when we're utilizing any of these. We want to have our core engaged. That's a part of the form that we want to utilize here. We also want to focus on the muscle groups that we're utilizing. There's a mind-muscle connection that's really important through this workout that I think is underrated when it comes to a lot of methods, and we should really be utilizing that. They did experiments and put electrodes on people's muscles, and they realized that just focusing on the muscle groups during exercise gets about 30% more electrical signal, which is that's powerful, and it's absolutely incredible to think that we have such a power over our bodies just mentally, you know. Another thing is breathing. This is something that, same thing, when we're pushing something heavy, we have a tendency to hold our breaths, right? And that's not something that we want to do. We always want to breathe as deep as possible. If we don't keep good form, if we sacrifice our form, if we allow ourselves to stop breathing, we can very easily get an exercise-induced headache, which it's not life-threatening, but hey, it's definitely not something that you want to experience. I've had one, it lasted a whole day. It was actually martial arts that, a huge long day of martial arts training that brought me into that headache. Like I said, it lasted about 24 hours. It was very unpleasant. It was very unpleasant. It was worse than a hangover that lasted all day. So if you feel a headache coming on, you might want to stop and reassess and get back to a workout a little bit later and not work out with a headache. So as far as this method goes, it's pretty simple. As far as the weights go, we're not going to rest between repetitions. If you see people in gyms like traditional methods, right? They're going to be doing like 5 sets of 5 repetitions or something like that, you know, just depending upon whether it's a volume method or not. And so with this method, they'll set those weights down. They'll do a rep and they'll set it down. They'll do a rep and they'll set it down. And it'll be really fast. What we want to do is imagine that these are the weights right here. And they're moving through that range of motion. When those weights actually get down to the bottom of the weights, they're just going to barely touch the weights, and then we're going to barely start. And all this means, of course, is that we want to keep the same pace throughout. We don't want to rest between repetitions. And this is really the biggest reason why we get to full muscle fatigue within about a minute and 2 minutes. That's the ideal time frame. You know, if we hit full muscular failure within about 2.5 minutes, it's time to raise those weights a little bit and bring that time down. The biggest reason for that, there's been a lot of studies that have been done. One of my favorite studies, and I'll leave that link down below as well, there were 3 different test groups. One of them worked out for maybe 45 minutes, another one for maybe like 30 minutes. The other one was like 13 minutes. All of the test groups got to full muscle fatigue in strength training. Supposedly, they got the same amount of exercise, so to speak. And they all got the same results. So that's a pretty big distinction to make right there. We can just have an efficient workout that's safe and very effective. So let's get started. And I'm going to be talking you through this as I'm doing the workout. That's not ideal. You never actually want to be talking when you're doing this workout. So usually I lift about 500 pounds on this leg press. Today I'm going to put it at 100 or less just because I want to show you this method and show you exactly what we need to do. There's a few important things to note. You may not be able to see my hands right here, but you never want your hands to grip the handles there. If you were to grip and grab and tighten, then it could lead to shoulders coming up and it could lead to bad form. So one of the most important factors is just to relax the upper body. That's perfect form here. As we just stay completely relaxed, you'll want to actually rest your head if possible so you don't strain your neck at all. Everything's relaxed except the muscles that we're utilizing. And when I say that, we're talking about the glute muscles first and foremost. Before we even begin pushing, we'll want to engage the glutes and we'll want to engage the core. Those are 2 of the main focuses we want to keep through this workout. As we begin pushing, we'll move at that 10-second pace, very gently in control from the very beginning for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Fantastic. That was a little bit slower than 10 seconds, right at 12 or so. Now, you can probably see this right here. My knees are just barely bent still. If I was to lock out my knees here, there would be the possibility of course, these folding under huge weight. We always want to keep a bend in the knee. That's super important. When you reach that point where you're almost at a full extension, you have a gentle bend still in the knee, we're basically just going to turn right back around. And a lot of times trainers will use that word turn around here. All that means is pause, head the opposite direction. Same pace, 10 seconds. Very gentle and in control and stable slow motion. Continuing through this, we want to keep the glutes and the core engaged. And these weights are about to touch. Right here, barely touch, barely start. So what I didn't do is rest between those repetitions, right? Resting would be setting those weights down. You can literally hear that weight stack click into place as that rest is just complete. I basically could take my feet off of this and I'm 100% rested. We're never going to do that between repetitions, right? We're going to get to that full fatigue right here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a video of me actually going through the workout so you can watch this happening. And you'll notice this is me lifting this 495 pounds or so that I usually do on this leg press. You can see me just moving through this at that gentle pace and working through it. Like I said, we relax the upper body completely. We feel the glutes engage. We keep those engaged completely. We focus on the target muscles being utilized. What you'll notice always is that your quadriceps above the knees are just going to start burning like fire. Those are generally going to be the muscles that keep you from pushing further. You're going to hit full muscular fatigue in those quads probably before anything else if you're like most of us individuals. And that's absolutely fine. It's natural for that to happen, even though the glutes are the focus of this exercise. The reason why is that the glutes are the largest muscle in the human body. And so when we focus on those, when we purposefully engage those, we get more out of it, we gain more muscle mass. and we burn more calories. And technically, this machine is one of the most important things for upping our metabolism because it uses the most muscle groups that we possibly have. When it comes down to it, we turn the age 25 and we start losing a half a pound of muscle every year. So that means, let's say we turn the age 55 and we've never done strength training at all. We have no clue that that's what makes our metabolism better. All we've done is just this aerobic activity, elliptical machine 3 times a week. That's really all we've ever done. So we don't have a whole lot of muscle mass on our bodies. What has happened to us is we have lost 500 daily calories burned just through those 15 pounds of muscle loss that have incurred over that long period of time. So the idea here is to add muscle mass and to amp up our metabolism even higher. For every 1 pound of muscle we add to our bodies, we gain another 37 calories burned every single day of our lives. So look, I did show you exactly me getting to that full muscle fatigue, and I talked your ear off about metabolism and muscle mass through the entire thing. So I hope that gives you a good intro and a good idea of what we need to be doing here in the studio. So look, hey, like and subscribe. If you got something out of this video, I want you to share it with as many people as possible. Please leave a comment below if you have questions whatsoever. I'd love to answer those for you. And hey, I'm JG. Watch some more videos, head over to my website, and I hope to see you on the next video. Have a great day.